Hello, actually progression tubers, and welcome back. Let's play Arena Emblem 4, Genealogy of the Holy War, with me, BlueAnkylo. But seriously, not so much Arena today. Last episode, we began Chapter 2, went through the story, and spent a bunch of time in town doing castle stuff. It really does make sense to do it while everyone's in the castle, though. So I'm glad I got that out of the way at the beginning of the chapter. Also, in the sense that, like, maybe you mess something up, I would recommend you, like, save it right after you finish, like, an hour of arenaing, so that when someone dies, you don't have to redo it all, because that would be dumb. And I do feel only mildly guilty for not sticking with the losses in the arena and then healing them up over time. But I'm pretty sure now we kind of want to make a rush over this way. I think we're kind of limited on how much time we have before to save Raquizi. I still haven't decided how to say her name. So anyway, that's my story. Let's get to it. We've got lots of stuff to do. One thing I want to talk about just briefly, I know another little side story here, but I want to talk about girls and marriage a little bit. We currently have, well, 4 girls, right, altogether. Deirdre's already married, so don't worry about those two. Ethlyn's already married, don't worry about those two, Quan and Ethlyn. So essentially we've got 2 marriageable women. Ira, who is a sword girl, and Aideen, who is a healer girl. Now, I'm not going to get into the details of inheritance and stuff just yet, but the basics are each girl in the second generation of this game will have 2 children. It will be preset most of what the child are. They're going to have a base class, a base stats, base growths, well, based on the mom, essentially. They've got baseline of most things, and you can't change that, you know, their names and all that, of course. But you can choose which person the woman partners with, and that will affect the kids' stats and skills, because the children inherit the personal skills of the parents of them. So, for instance, Ira's children will all have these 3 skills, if they can use them. If one of her children does not use swords, she won't get sword skills. But I believe Pursuit and Nihil will transfer down automatically. Now, that's cool and all, so you might be thinking, well, who do you pair someone with like that? Well, Holin you could pair her up with, but he would only add Luna to the sword skills of her children. I'm pretty sure she's got at least 1 sword user child. I haven't really looked into the children aspect much, but the idea here is you want to pair up, if you know the children in advance, you want to pair up skills that are useful for the children and weapon inheritance that is beneficial for them. So, for instance, the children will, at the end of scenario 1, or whatever we call it, I think it's like 6 or 7 chapters or something, whatever is left in the dad and mom's inventory will be passed on to their children, if the children can equip them. So if, for instance, Ira marries, I have no idea, let's just say she marries Lex. He has a lot of axes because he can only use axes. He can't carry any other weapons. And Ira only uses swords. But let's say her children don't use axes. Then all of his axes just puff into smoke, basically. So, if there is a child that uses axes, you might want to pair up Lex with that mom. Just as a purely hypothetical, but that's just sort of an example that you might want to think about. Similarly, they do inherit some of your stats and your stat growth averages. There's some complicated formulas. So there's a way of getting, you know, they also inherit, like, the bloods thingamajigger. So if you look at, like, if you happen to know what a Boulder Major Blood stat bonus for growths are, children of Sigurd will inherit that as well. Or at least one will inherit the minor, one will inherit the major if you've got it. So anyway, there's some stuff like that. I'm really, really not personally going to get into that much. I'm just using one of the recommendations on SerenesForest that just has some basic pairing recommendations. And it makes some sense to me. I've looked into it a little bit, and I'm just going to go with that. So, if you're wondering, I'll just double check on my little side window here. If you're wondering, Aideen is going to combo with Midir. I believe it's because one of her children uses a bow or something, and that way that child actually gets to use some bows, because Midir can pass them down, and also Pursuit's pretty nice. So, that's one, and then the other one over here will be Ira and Dew. Apparently Dew is like a in-demand father, so there's a lot of good options for him. I don't know exactly why, but, you know, a lot of people seem to like him. And Ira, I suppose if she has sword children that already have pursuit, I suppose this is logical. Pursuit being one of the most important skills to pass down. She already passes that down, so you want a father that doesn't have pursuit but can pass something else useful, like, say, soul. Or, I don't know, maybe he's got good growths or something. Anyway, those are the other two, and we will be getting 3 more girls on today's chapter. Maybe not today's episode, but chapter 2. So we'll talk more about the pairings as we get them. It's really not a huge deal just at this moment. Essentially, I'm going to try to lead Ira and do end turn nearby, and Midir and Aideen end turn. Not every single round, but when possible. Anyway, with that said, that's enough about inheritance for now. Oops. That's the bare minimum you want to know. And I have heard, for the most part, on your first playthrough of this game, you really don't need to worry about stuff like that. Apparently, second generation is simple enough that you don't need to worry about, you know, maximizing your children. But that is also the sort of thing that I like to do. So I figured it's not that hard. I like to work on supports as we play through. It adds a little bit of a challenge while you're doing a chapter to try to keep people in the right sort of formation. So, hey, why not? Oh, there is a conversation. I think I messed that up with Ethlyn here. Hold on. It's fine, but I think... Yeah, Deirdre wants to talk to Ethlyn, and I moved her too far away. Oh, well. We'll do it eventually. That was a slight mistake. Just because, you know, I could have put Ethlyn a little bit closer or something. So I'm trying to just send the Cav out first because they have the longest movement, and they're going to be the most likely to reach the castle quickly to save them. I think I'm going to say... I should have sent Lex earlier because there's a lot of Lance guys. Yeah, I should have moved him like a couple tiles up rather than Ethlyn. In fact, that would have been a lot smarter because there's a lot of Lance Cav that his Brave Axe should tear apart. So that was, you know, slightly misordered. Now that Midir has his killer, or has Jemka's killer bow, he'll be a lot more effective as well. He'll also get to the fight a lot quicker than Jemka, so feels like a good combo. Yeah, I'm going to prioritize the Cav into juicy spots. And then after the Cav, I mean, Azel's pretty slow, but he'll get there eventually. And I think Ira, I know it's probably pronounced Ira. Her old translation was IRA rather than AYRA. And we're getting stuck by a roadblock here a little bit. But I'm pretty sure you should... I mean, in this kind of game where you can deploy everyone, I don't see why you wouldn't. Maybe I should have pushed Do a little bit further as well, because he can steal money and transfer it to people, and that would be nice, but whatever. And unsurprisingly to anyone... Oh yeah, we could do some warp spam. We're not going to do that right now. Arden is the final deployment. Now, he's got a special hidden event on this one. Like, remember last chapter where via hacks, we happen to know that Do... Oh, you know, I forgot to repair all the stuff between episodes. I said I was going to do that, and then I forgot. Whatever. It'll be fine. Lex got his super axe. Well, maybe Arden will get a super item on today's... well, not today's episode, but this chapter anyway. We'll see what happens. So we got Nordion trying to hold up for Rayquaza. And here we go. Lady Rayquaza of Nordion, huh? I've been looking forward to this. She's been playing cruel games with my heart for years. But look how the turns tables. I have an entire army behind me against her insignificant guard. What could she possibly do? She's powerless to resist coming back to Heierheim with me. And who knows, maybe one day she'll admit she wants it. Well, they sure made the bad guys scummy. I have a feeling in more official Nintendo translations for North America, especially in the Super Nintendo era, they would have chilled out a lot with the borderline rape. You know, that's kind of what he's talking about here, right? So this generally wouldn't make it over in an official translation. Our task is to form a defensive line. Don't let the enemy lure you from your post. Stand your ground. Understood? I wonder if... Actually, that's cool. So if those guys stay back, that makes this a little bit easier. And if you can't even lure them away, that's... You can just use Midir to move up, shoot them with the arrow, and then run out of range. He'll win with everything. So, Heierheim's finally made their move. Perfect. Release the brigands! Under the old king, you couldn't even dare to meddle in his property. Yet it's the easiest thing to cheat Chagall. Strip everything of worth you find and bring it back here. Leave no stone unturned. So they're just hiring some axe guys to go burn down their own villages in their own kingdom? Man, those poor villages. Hireheim is going for Nordion's throat? Huh. Who do I side with here? Let's wait and see how this unfolds. Instruct the men to remain where they are until the dust settles. Now, if those are his towns, he should just guard his towns from the invading axe guys, right? Like, I assume these are Macaulay's villages, right? It's right by his castle. And then this guy up in Anthony is sending down a bunch of axe guys to go burn down his villages, steal their money. What a bunch of jerks in Augusti. You guys suck. So I kind of have a feeling that these guys aren't going to move. So if you're patient, there's probably a fairly easy way to, you know, park a guy here, move over, shoot Kanto back, do it again, do it again, do it again. Or we could try to find an amazing strategy that just one-shots everything, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. Recover staff, full HP heal. It'd be nice if you could steal that. That'd be really nice to throw on one of our healers, but it doesn't look like it'll draw. And I don't think there's any item stealing in this game, so. Anyway, we've got a long way to go. Let's move out. So yeah, if you remember last map, last chapter, we can just see the top little strip of the chapter 1 map, because to the east is where Granvale originally, on the first map, conquered Castle Evans. And then from Castle Evans, we conquered all of Verdane in Chapter 1. And now, from Evans, we're going to conquer all of Augusti. Alright, I do want to get a conversation here. I think... Actually, this might work out. If Aideen can talk to Ethlyn before she moves, that would be nice. I kind of want to make sure Lex gets a good spot. And I have a feeling Midir will be more useful than Alec or Noish, because of the killer bow, primarily. Alright, we're kind of missing out on one movement, but this should get us our talk. Oh, or not. Well, can we talk and Kanto, or does that lock us into place? Well, we'll find out. The healers don't need to be up front. Wait. Oh, it's Deirdre! I totally forgot who's talking to who. Whatever. Aideen could have moved one more tile if I did this in a different order. It's fine. It's not optimal. How are you faring so far, Deirdre? I know my brother is worried something fierce about your risking your life like this. Oh, Ethlyn, thanks for... I don't have two different softy girl princess voices, but look, you can get it, right? Thanks for asking. I'm just doing fine. Everything will be all right. I can feel it. As long as I'm by Sigurd's side, our happiness will see us through. Well, I don't know if I've ever seen Sigurd as happy as he's been since he met you. He's practically a changed man. Ethlyn, I'd like you to have this. I've been meaning to give it to you for a while. They're basically sisters by marriage, I think. Yeah, sister-in-laws, probably. Yeah. Oh, is this the light brand? Wow, these are so rare and hard to come by. Are you sure you want to give me this? Oh, of course. I knew it would serve you well. You can use swords, you see. I can't thank you enough, Deirdre. I will treasure it always until I sell it to someone else who needs it. That'll never happen. Alright, so Ethlyn has... I mean, giving her the Iron Blade seems kind of silly now, I guess. It's the same damage, but probably magic. Oh, it's range 1, 2. Yeah. Okay, so we've seen light brands in other Fire Emblems. I kind of have a feeling it'll only cast its magic spell at range 2 in this game. And at range 1, it'll work a lot like an Iron Blade. Oh well. We can sell it if we need to, and who knows. If it does work off of her magic stat, it doesn't matter, because she's got the same strength as she's got magic. Whatever, it's fine. Yeah, we're not going to be returning just yet. Alright, Noish. I definitely have to say that I'm not super impressed with Noish and Alec. Alec is looking a little bit stronger, but they're both looking pretty poor so far. Now, of these guys, who gets priority? Well, you can move the furthest. I guess I'd like to have mages coming up, because I only have one mage. Well, I guess Deirdre counts. She's just... I don't think she's a very good mage, thanks to that. I should probably try to give her, like, a heal staff or something so she can get some passive experience. I probably could have transferred something over from Aideen. Maybe the warp staff or... I guess, like, optimally, we would use the warp staff until Aideen's level 20, and then she can get some real spells, I think. And then, at that point, you could transfer the warp staff over to Deirdre or something. I don't have very many healing staves just yet, so... Until we start getting some additional ones, we're kind of stuck only with 2 healers either way. Oh yeah, I'm not really doing a lot of romance here right now by matching people up. We'll worry about that once we're done the initial rush to Nordia. I'm really good with names. I like Nordian's theme music, actually. It's quite nice. So, these guys are already attacking the knights. It looks like the Yves... Well, his name's Yves. Looks like those 3 cross knights are probably stronger 1v1, but they are outnumbered. Also, the axe guys will probably tear them apart. If they've got... I forget what they've got. I think you've got a steel lance and a javelin. The axe guys will be pretty brutal. Alright, we got axe robbers. And they definitely hold their axes differently than your typical axe guy. So, what are the odds of these guys surviving? I don't know. Iron lances. I think against the lance knights, they'll be fine. Oh, they got steel swords. Oh! If they use the steel sword against the axe guy, that'll work. Steel sword and a javelin. Alright, so that means that these guys... The lance guys actually had weapon triangle advantage against the sword, but it didn't really matter. 7 damage is nothing. Yeah, they'll hold out for a little while. I'm definitely still going to try to rush. Actually, having Ethelyn up close to be able to do some healing on them, like maybe put Ethelyn, you know, here so she can hop over, heal, run back, will be really nice. Anyway, Sigurd's most of the way there. Which tile is better? Road tiles count as 0.7. This is still better, I think, even though you're not on the road. So we get our 2, essentially, I'm just going to call these guys paladins. I know Fire Emblem 4 has slightly different class names for certain characters, but Sigurd is pretty standard paladin as far as Fire Emblem is concerned in my books. And Quan, although he only uses lances, it's still a paladin style. Like, it's a promoted cav, you know. Hopefully you guys can bear with me. I don't want to memorize Lord Knight, Duke Knight, Master Knight, etc., etc., etc. Alright, everyone's favorite part of a Fire Emblem episode is moving cavalry down long roads for 5 turns. Actually, the cavalry aren't even the problem. It's Arden that's the problem. Oops, dang it. I want that extra tile. Alright, Azel, you know, at least he's on the road. We're on the road again. Ira's a bit faster. Deirdre, yeah. You'll see the split between the 6 and 7 move people around now. Or, sorry, the 5 and the 6s. Yeah, Jemka's pretty quick, too. I mean, he doesn't have a horse, but... For someone that doesn't have a horse, he's fairly quick. Alright. So I'm still hopeful that we're moving quick enough that we can save some of these cross knights. He didn't get a kill there, but he dodged the counter, so that's something. I get the feeling that the cross knights are going to not move. So that guy on the left is going to take a lot of damage because he's just going to be open to a lot of Kanto attacks. In fact, every single enemy knight could attack him. Assuming they're, you know, smart. I'm not sure how smart they are. mean, if he dies on this round, I don't feel bad, because there's nothing I could have done, but I will do my best to save him if I can get there in time. I'm not sure how scripted these AI battles are. Oh, now he's got someone blocking this tile to his left. Maybe he'll be fine now, actually. I feel like the last time we saw the Cross Knights fight Herheim, it looked pretty scripted to me. I mean, again, I'm not 100%, but maybe the stats were just so skewed that it was like 100% hit rate, so it always works out that way. But, you know how the AI moves people around, like... In Fire Emblem, it's hard to predict exactly who an enemy will attack every single time, so... Anyway, it looks like we've got a chance to save them now. Although these bandits... I think I'll just speed through when there's just random bandits that don't... Like, watching... We're going to waste some time now, but just watching these guys move around, ruffians... Also, 5,000 gold each for due to steal. Don't forget about that. But, yeah, you know, a little bit of fast forward on their turn's probably fine. I don't like doing fast forward all the time, but, you know. Alright, so one thing I wanted to check, seeing as money, is it worth keeping anyone alive for due? And it looks like, if anybody, it would be Elliot, but it's probably not a big deal, because it's more important to save Rayquaza, I suppose. Mind you, I'm pretty sure she, as long as they can't kill her, and well, she doesn't have the best stats, to be fair. Yeah, you probably don't want them attacking her very much. Oh yeah, we'll talk about her stats once we recruit her, but yeah. Alright, so we've got... Alec has the least amount of options, and then Noish and so forth have more options. I suppose optimally we want Ethlyn maybe to heal this guy, but I mean, I'm assuming we kill these two and maybe this one. This is going to be a bit of a hectic round. I'm just going to leave, because it's going to be really hard to plan this all out. I want to make sure I've got a save state here in case of emergencies, so we can backtrack to this point. So we got, not counting Ethlyn, we've got 7 attacks. There's no way we clear this entire group out. And we have no choke point. He can always go around that way. So it might be nice to leave like 1 or 2 cav along here, and then 1 or 2 cav here, kind of to make a little pocket where maybe Ethlyn would be safe. But even still, cav are really fast, so even if I had those 2 tiles taken, if we didn't kill this guy, he's got 8 movements, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He can still get a long way into there, like, and this guy will have 9. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's actually not, he can't get as far around the north side of the castle, assuming that's the, like, if you count the roads, he might get an extra movement or something, but I don't think he can move through these tiles, because they're, it says it's castle tiles, so I don't think you can stand in those. Well, actually, he can stand in, yeah, okay, well, this actually shows pretty clearly what he can do. Alright, well, I mean, there's only really one thing Alec can do. So we open with this, and we hope everything works out, basically. We're definitely taking a hit back for 13 damage. And I guess one thing I should look at is stats. So with a lance, it's -12. That puts us at -1. But he's got -4, so we would get a double. So this is a guaranteed kill, but we'll almost certainly take some damage back. We are in range of Sigurd, which is nice, so we are getting the small chance to dodge from him. But it looks like these enemy Lance Knights are pretty accurate themselves. That's okay. Alex should still be able to take at least one more hit. But I'm using Alec and Noish first because we're going to try to protect them with the... Alec. With the more tanky promoted units. Like, this tile should be relatively safe once I'm done this round, I hope. Alright, so Noish can only attack one guy as well. From here... he can kind of... He'll still be in Sigurd's range. I think I'd rather have him on the north side than this side. Yeah. And you definitely want to use a sword against an axe guy. At least we might not take a counter. Now, alright, one thing we could do here is because... Now, okay, one thing to think about. I'm thinking, like, Midir could do some chip damage. That way Noish won't take a counter. We could do that to kill this guy. Or, if we can kill this guy, then Midir might be able to move through that tile and stand here to do some chip damage on these guys. I think we're not going to be that aggressive with Midir because he doesn't have a lot of defense either. He'll just kill this guy straight up. Ooh, that's not quite what I wanted. We do need to kill the axe guy next, though. What are the odds of Noish getting the kill? He could get a crit, or he could get a cost or pursuit. Either way would get him the kill, but if he doesn't, he does not get a kill. And that's pretty much all he can do this turn, no matter what. So I guess we take the small chance that he gets a double, essentially. Or a crit. Because that would be very helpful, but there's no real other good way to do this, other than Midir. So maybe... No. Actually, we can't get a pursuit if we got that hit. We would have needed to dodge the axe swing. So unfortunately, he took a hit, and we don't really get anything out of it. I could have just killed with Midir instead, but it's fine. We don't even really need to use the killer bow, but it's just easy. Alright. Where do we want to leave Midir? Move him down a little bit. I think we'll be fine. Midir was probably safe either way, so it's not a big deal. Okay, Lex is next. He can't do anything, so I'm just using him to block, probably for Noish. Finn could throw a javelin. Ethlin, probably just healing one of my guys. These two are pretty healthy. They have a lot of HP anyway. They're higher level than us. And they are paladins, haha. Alright, so we're just going to use... If the boss comes around the north side, nobody else can, really. Like, assumedly, Sigurd and Quan are going to kind of block up this line a little bit, somewhere around here. If you could stand there, you could protect Noish. Can he make it that far? Yeah, okay. He's got the Brave Axe equipped. If the boss goes for him, that's the only person that should be able to attack him. Because we're going to block off the south route with the next two. Alright, Finn, I mean, I'm doubtful that this is going to accomplish a whole lot, but... does he have, Oh, he does have Pursuit. Okay, let's do a little bit of quick check here. So he's at -6 speed. I have a bad feeling about this. -4. Too much. So he's not doubling with his javelin, unfortunately. And so he's got no way to get a kill, basically. Unless he could do... If he could stand here, you know, he could win with a pursuit. But he does not have that option. So all he's doing is chip damage. It probably is not going to make any difference, really, who he attacks. Because if Sigurd and Quan attack, they'll finish these guys off for sure. I guess we'll go with the one with the better accuracy, just so we don't miss. But yeah, all in all, that's pretty inconsequential. I'll switch over to the Steel Lance, so if he does get attacked, he will double back. And none of these guys have ranged weapons, so that's a little bit smarter. Technically, you could use Ethlin to finish that guy off, if we were really brave. And then... theoretically, Sigurd could kill and move back. Quan could move here and throw a javelin or something. Let's just see what it looks like. I mean, Quan can get a kill with a javelin, but that doesn't put him in the defensive position. He's got 9 movement, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Probably only 2 more. He might be able to get to that tile. In fact, for sure he can make it to that tile, but not the forest. So if we leave Sigurd in the forest, Quan could still make it to here after throwing a javelin. That means Sigurd has to kill this guy, and then Quan can kill one of these two, basically. Just to reduce the amount of damage these guys will take. I'm not sure how likely Yves is to survive this. Or we can see if Ethlyn can get a kill, but she'll have weapon triangle disadvantage. Well, she'd probably get the kill. Would that be worth it, or should I just heal people? I probably should just heal people. Unfortunately, she can't make it to this tile. I would use her to heal Yves if she could make it, but she won't. So basically, have her heal Noish. And if she can move underneath Lex, I will do that, so she's nice and close to heal whoever survives this. Yeah. Alright, well, let's see if my plotting is going to work. We're going to leave Sigurd in the forest, get a kill from here. 100%, it's no big deal. This also puts him close enough to give Quan leadership bonus while he does his little trick. I haven't fully planned out this round, but I feel like this still has worked out pretty effectively so far, assuming my math in terms of adding things up is correct. I think it's actually maybe better to kill this guy, because he's the most likely to get around my Sigurd-Quan blockade, because he's closer, whereas this guy's kind of far away. He's not going to be able to move very far. So, take this one out. Easy enough. And 2 squares? 2 squares. Now, I could have planned on putting him here, and that would help protect Yves. But that opens the hole up. The way I did this, that would be bad. Maybe in retrospect, maybe I should have planned to leave Sigurd here, because the forest tile will slow down the cav a lot. Like, they would only be able to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That'd be as far as they could make it, if they have to travel through the forest. So we could have planned on the forest slowing them down, and then used Quan, but I didn't think of that until just now. So, we're not going to do that. Okay. I think this guy has a reasonable chance. It depends on how much this guy hits. He's got a pretty strong weapon. That's 36. Also, because he's got a Silver Lance, I might want to make sure someone gets the kill there. Silver Lance is A rank. Who can even use that? So, Quan's the only one I think that can use that. Yeah, you need A rank Lance to use it. Finn is only a B rank, and Alec and Noish are even worse. So I guess optimally you want Quan to kill Elliot. Because, yeah, that's a nice upgrade for him. Not that he even needs it, but okay. Planning it out. You can always sell it and move it around, I know, but I'd rather not pay the money if I can help it. So I don't think that was a perfect setup by any means, but I still think we should be fine. I think the odds of anyone dying on my side are very low. The only one that would have been nice to do a little bit better for would be that Yves guy on the left. And I don't even know if you need to keep them alive or not. Like, I don't know if that makes any difference at all if he dies or lives, but you know, I feel like we should try to do our job and keep them alive. Maybe they'll give us some money if we save them. Alright, uses his javelin. Does a little bit of chip damage. It's good they're teaming up on the same one. Didn't quite get the kill, though, so it didn't really help. They're still going to take a counterattack from him because of that. Like, or not a counter, but you know what I mean. He'll still get a turn to attack. Alright. A lot of this comes down to whether or not the boss hits Yves. I don't think the rest of them can kill Yves on their own, but if the boss hits him, I think he's dead at this point. Or if he takes another hit, for sure. Alright, that's kind of nice. You decided not to go after Yves. And I'll take that hit to get an easy kill on Finn. No big deal. Actually, that's great. We lured 2 over with Finn. He can take a little bit of damage. I'm not too worried. As long as the boss can't hit him, and I didn't math that out, but we did lure them over with our steel lance equipped rather than something else. Skill speed, good. Finn's definitely the best of the 3 right now. Or the 4. Uh-oh. I didn't think the boss could go that far. We're gonna need a dodge here, Finn. Gah, Granville. Don't interfere with this unless you want me to wipe the floor with you, too. Come on, Finn! Dang it. That was not what I thought would be happening. Alright, well... I mean, that's why I left the save down, I guess. That's really unfortunate. I thought I had it set up, but... 1, 2, 3, 4... Plus some roads, but yeah, 1, 2 roads. 1, 2, 3 roads. 4, 5... So with 3 roads, that costs them about 2 movement. No, it's 2.1. That still counts as 3. It takes 4 roads to save a movement tile, essentially. Because it's 0.7, 1.4, 2.1. But you can't spend 0.9 to go into a plane. So, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How did he get that far? I guess going around the woods? Yeah, it's these tiles count as roads. I didn't check. I thought these would be grass, but they're actually road tiles. It looks like grass. So he was able to go 1 road, 2 road, 3 road, 1 plane, 4 road, 5 roads, 6 roads, 7 roads. 7 roads at 0.7 is actually only 5 movement squares. Yeah, 7 times 7 is 49, so 4.9 plus 1. So that's... Sorry. 4.9 plus 1 is 5.9. 6.9, 7.9, 8. So he was actually only at 7.9. He had 1 more movement even from here. He could have made it to that tile. Wow, that's nuts. Okay. That was some road paladin Duke Knight shenanigans. I mean, you know, I could have checked it out in advance, but like, I don't take all the blame on that one. That's a very specific Genealogy of the Holy War extended movement on roads, on tiles that don't even look like roads. That's what got him killed, and that's unfortunate, but, alright, alright. Well, let's try this again. I think the first couple steps are the same. The trick will be positioning so that Finn doesn't die, obviously. We'll speed through this a little bit. We'll get the same... Because I used a save state... In fact, I'm kind of glad I used the save state rather than the in-game save. If you use the in-game save, the RNG will... The RNG seed will progress, I believe. So you might get a different level up. And I feel like that's almost worse than using the save state. So this will be fine. I'm going to just kill with Madeir, though, rather than let Noish take a damage. But... So this time I'm using my knowledge that Noish won't get a kill, but it's saving him a little bit of HP. It's fine. I think that's pretty inconsequential. Alright. Yeah, unfortunately Lex still can't really accomplish anything. Yeah, in the end, this doesn't really change our opening moves very much. Because these guys can't get close enough to really help. So it still just comes down to Finn, Sigurd, and Quan and what we do with them. The boss can make it around the north side, but only he can. Do I put, like, Sigurd, Quan along here instead? Quan could stand here and shoot a javelin. We'd have a very similar result. Yeah, okay. We're just going to change that to that position. These couple... I mean, I just don't care about them as much as I care about my guys. This will protect Finn just fine. To be honest, attacking with Finn is actually kind of silly in a sense. Actually, if he can't Kanto out of here, this is another mistake, technically. Dang it. Whatever. Just can't get away with anything. Because from here we can only move 2 squares, which means the same spot. And I want to be blocking those 2 squares. I mean, do I care? You know what? In the end, it's fine, because the Cross Knights will kill this guy. Instead of us killing it with Quan, they'll do enough chip damage to kill him. It won't change very much. Yeah, that's fine. I still want Quan up close so he can fight the boss. So just a very minor detail there. I think also I didn't check all the math out, but the truth of it is, Finn got hit 3 times in a row. I don't think they all had 100%, so getting 3 in a row at, I assume, 70-80% was a little bit unlucky. So it's not all my fault. It's not my fault. Not my fault. If I stand here, can I get back to here? Or should we just leave Sigurd up? If I had blocked this tile with somebody else, if Quan was there... Yeah, we could have done that. We could have had Quan block that tile. This is a forest, so I still don't think... Well, who knows? The way roads work, maybe they could just walk back and kill someone else. We've only got 1, 2 rows, so don't count the roads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, he can do that. It doesn't really matter, but we'll just give him the kill rather than the Cross Knights. And I'm fine with the Silver Sword. Eventually, I'll be more... Like, it just takes some practice with how... So we only got 1 person that needs healing. It takes some practice with how roads work in Genealogy of the Holy War. I'm really not... Because this is my first time playing the game, and, you know, we're still pretty early. This is just the sort of thing that's going to take some trial and error, I think. It's unfortunate. I actually, you know, honestly, I like the road mechanic lowering movement costs, but it makes it very difficult to predict how far enemy cav can move. And this was kind of our first time fighting promoted enemy cav, just random enemies, so it makes sense that this is when they would catch somebody off guard, because I predicted they wouldn't be able to move that far, and I even made a little wall to try to, you know, oops, not you, Arden. Not you, Arden, never you. Making a little wall to protect Finn and Ethlyn, but it didn't work. Because I knew Finn would be at risk if the axe guys could hit him. I just thought he would be safe where the way I had it. Anyway, let's see if this formation works. It's way different. Yves, I would have preferred if you didn't attack that guy, because now you got counter hit. Now you've got even lower HP. I mean, hey, what's the worst that can happen? Yves will die. What do you think that will cost me? Maybe they'll be dumb enough and they'll just attack Sigurd anyway now. Somehow I doubt it. I mean, they've got... The Lance guys have Weapon Triangle on Sigurd. Come give it a shot. I have a feeling like Yves is going to die now. That's going to be my comeuppance for reloading for Finn. Now a green guy will die. Yeah, they're all beaten up on him this time. It's like the game knows. I don't know if this is actually accurate, but it always felt in the XCOM style games. It's like the game knew in advance that it could get a kill, so then it does it, right? Like they knew they were going to get 4 hits, so they just killed him. And if you kill her now, I'm going to be so mad. Alright. Well, Yves, you got just... I don't know how I could have saved you, actually. Like, if they had enough attacks to kill him, basically, the only way that I could lure them out of that is by having someone else that they thought they could kill instead. It seems that way, right? Like, so there's... You guys can tell me in the comments if I just lost out on a awesome something by having one of these guys die, but... I don't know how I could have saved him, honestly, because this was the first round I had combat, and I feel like I moved as quickly as I could up the road. Like, I guess I could have left Sigurd here. I guess that would have been the option, is put Sigurd on the south road. Well, they still could have just canteled through, though. They all would have attacked him. There's no way I could have blocked this tile up completely, unless I put Sigurd there and Quan there, in which case I would have had to abandon my entire cav. I don't know. That's a tricky one. I'm not really sure how I could have saved that dude. I'm sure there's a way, but I just can't see it right now. All right, so what do we got? Almost dead, healthy. The goal will be for Quan to kill this guy, and he can do 24 damage. So bring him down to 24 or less, if possible. And murderize him. Other than that, I guess this is a good kill for like Alec or Noish. There's not much else they're gonna do here, probably. Well, Alec got a terrible level up, so it's Noish's turn to try not to fail me. Come on, Noish. No level up, so we'll save that for later. Positioning-wise, I guess we're going to be heading north next, so you kind of don't want to go south. There's nothing south. Alright, and then, oh, actually, speaking of the map, I do need to keep an eye on a secret location for later. Okay, Midir. We've got an easy kill on the Lance guy. The boss has a Lance as well. So I could see using Lex to... Wait, what has Lex got? Vantage and Paragon. So no secret trick skills that do extra damage. How much will this hurt with the Brave Axe? 26 damage times 2, that's a kill. Well, that's hilarious. Lex can one-shot the boss. It's 2 hits, but the boss does not even get a counterattack. Elliot would be dead before he even knew what was going on. Or, no, wait, I'm not doing the math right. 28 minus 12 is 16, so that's 32 damage. Okay, actually, this is perfect, then. This is what I was hoping for. I just, you know, mathing is hard, guys. Math is hard. This should put him in Quan's range, though. And we did take it a hit, but that's fine. Good job, Lex. Get some stats. HP, Strength. Well, you know, I love Strength, so okay. And given that he has a Brave Axe, you could kind of think of that as 2 Strength, sort of. Because he will always get 2 attacks, and that's 2 more damage. In a sense. Now, I'm going to kill these guys before I kill the boss in case they flee, and I want that juicy experience. We got a big wall to deal with soon enough. It would... Actually, there's like no way to save the villagers. Wow. The only way to get up there is to go all the way around. So these villages are toast. I don't know how I could ever save them. There's no way up that cliff. Well, I mean, there's one way, but it's... I mean, there's a lot of villages. It's going to take, what? There's 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, I think the first 4 villages they go after, there's no way we could possibly save them. Even though it takes like 10 turns. The first 4 are totally burned. But maybe we can save the second set of 4. And this is assuming I played well, but we'll see. Alright, so... Finn... What we'll do here is do some chip damage. Oh wait, who's... No. We're gonna let Finn... Because Finn can't do much against the axe guy, we'll let Finn kill the lance guy, and then we'll have Midir do chip damage on the axe guy, and then we'll see how Alec is looking against that. Just to spread around some experience. Hey, that doesn't matter, but I do like to try to optimize who gets experience. I think in the long run it's good play, but it also doesn't make a big difference in the short run, so... Now, it's possible Midir will get a crit and kill him. 17 damage times 2. He will need a crit or an adept. He doesn't have adept. He'll take a crit to kill, basically. And his crit chance will be pretty slow. Pretty low. Just skill percent, so... That's fine. I wouldn't have been too mad if he got a crit, but he didn't, so it doesn't matter. And then my backup Alec should have a nice easy time. Finish him off. With a sword, though, please. Yeah. All according to plan. Don't mind the alternate timeline where a certain Duke Knight was able to move 50 billion squares and kill one of you. I just don't think those should be road tiles. That's what I'm gonna... That's the sword I'm gonna die on. Alright. Quan. 100%. Nothing to worry about. Vengeance for your page, basically. Gah, blast! Why must everything go well again? Quan knew that in another timeline, this guy killed his protege. Ooh, skill, strength, and magic. Magic. And a lance that he can actually use. Great. I'm just gonna move him up this way. So... I kind of feel... No, I never bought this with Quan, so I don't feel like I wasted money. Technically, I bought a steel lance for Finn. So I could have handed it down, right? Like, we could have taken a 6 or so kill steel lance and passed it down to Finn, in knowing that we would get a silver lance for Quan later. But, whatever. Doesn't matter. Let's heal up. I've only got one person with any injuries, so after the second try, we did just fine. And then Sigurd can seize or talk or whatever, because I'm pretty sure he'll be the right one for that. So even that is mildly optimized with the right person at the end of the turn, right? Sir Sigurd, thank goodness you're here. Things were looking so bleak for a moment. I know. Poor Arvis. Rest in peace. I'm glad to see you're safe, Rayquaza. What about Eldigan? Is he still being held? Yes, he's in Augusti, actually. It's as if all the lords of Augustria, because it's the wind place probably, lots of wind mages, Augustria, have turned on us. Please, Sir Sigurd, lend us your might. No matter what it takes, my brother must be saved. Oh, of course. I've no fondness for bringing war to foreign lands, except this will be the second country I've conquered. I mean, yes, in this case we've little choice. Last time it got me a wife. What'll I get in round 2? His Majesty King Asmer is aware of King Imka's assassination and of Chagall's hand in it. We've received word of Chagall's ambitions to invade Groundvale itself and have already approved military action. His Majesty also believes Eldigan's rescue to be vital if we are to put an end to hostilities. Rest assured, Rayquaza, I swear that I'll save Eldigan. Now, she didn't really say she was coming with us, but pretty sure she's coming with us. So Rayquaza, let's have a quick look at her before we get to the end of our episode. She's a princess. She can move 6 movement like the other sword units, but she not only does she have an A rank in swords, she has a C rank in staves. So she can heal. She could also slap an iron blade on her, and she'll be able to hit things with a sword. Now, very low strength. So if we want her to fight, I kind of feel dumb, but I should give her either the light brand or the iron blade, because I bought the iron blade with Ethlyn for her to cover her low strength, and then she got a light brand immediately after. Now, Ethlyn is tied strength and magic. Rayquaza is a little bit more magic than strength, so maybe the light sword is better on her. Then again, she's not on a horse. She's got charm. Oh yeah, this is pretty cool. So this will have essentially the same effect as Sigurd's leadership bonus, because of his leadership stars. He's got 10% hit and avoid thanks to the authority. So hers should stack, and it's the same 3-tile radius, I believe. So theoretically, we can get 20% to 8 hit and avoid if we have Rayquaza and Sigurd in the right location. Unfortunately, 6 movement, not on a horse, it's a lot harder to set her up. But that's still nice. Alright, so she does have another heal staff, so she's a heal bot with some sorting. She's pretty frail though, 26 HP. I probably don't really want her fighting much. So for now, she's kind of going to be like Aideen, except she moves further. She's got one more move. Not quite as good at healing, but she's got swords and much less magic. Win some, lose some. That's our 3rd healer. Can't argue too much. Yeah, I think the shortest route will be to sort of stick to these roads up here and then cut over to the west after we get there. For the people who are not on horses, we'll sort of skip the castle to save a little bit of time. One thing I like, now that I've done a little bit more road math earlier on, is we know that it takes, what did I say, 4 road tiles to save 1 movement, and then 7 road tiles to save 2 movement. So with that, if you know how many road tiles you're using, you can kind of calculate how far you'll get. Still a little bit of math, but having the numbers in my head will make it a little easier to figure out. Alright, probably one more turn. Can she actually leave? No, she's stuck there because Sigurd's in the way. Alright, good enough. Now, there might be someone that I want to talk with her, so I can check that next episode. Next turn, too. I do feel bad for Arvis. I was really trying to save those 3 paladins, but I think maybe he was fated to die. Can she, like, talk to them or anything? Sigurd's gonna have to get out of the way. Let me check the chat window. So Do can talk to Rayquaza. Oh yeah, seeing as she's the next girl, she is the third girl, or third marriageable woman. Rayquaza will have someone we try to partner her with, but they're not in our team yet, so that's not going to happen at the moment. So nobody in the current team is good enough for the princess. That's my story. Anyway, I was just saying Do wants to talk to her. Do is way over here, but I can probably set that up. So what we learned, I believe, is that these guys aren't going to rush, or like if we put someone in range, they probably won't attack us. I want to test it out, but I want to be a little bit careful. The ballista will do 18 damage at fairly low hit rate. Got a 66 hit rate in total. You can see at the top there, top right. So somebody in the forest with good avoid is going to be pretty hard to hit. But 18 damage isn't that much. Someone like Sigurd or Quan. Quan's only taking 4 damage per hit. That's not much. What about Sigurd? Same defense, so either of them take like 4 hits. Sigurd has 45 avoid, but I think it's because he's on the throne here. Or maybe it's the charm, I don't know. Anyway, I'm just trying to calculate what I want to do here. Because charging this way to take Hair home, the home of Hair, is definitely the plan. Not sure about these guys. I mean, they're neutral for now. I assume they'll attack us eventually. They're going to prevent us from rescuing these villages, right? Alright, so we're still out of range, so we can move as far as Sigurd safely. Yeah, Rayquaza can leave. It's Do that talks to her, if I read this correctly. So we want Do to maybe come this way. And I was going to check if she can talk to these knights anyway. She cannot. Sure, have some staff experience, why not? I have a feeling the only way we're going to level her up is to get some healing anyway. I'll try to get her a better sword at some point, but for now, I doubt she's going to do very well in the arena, and she's not particularly combat focused, so. Unless Dude gives her an amazing sword? He gave someone a staff earlier. It's literally a sword. Are you kidding me? I was joking, but sure. Hey, Rayquaza, there you are. Check out this beauty of a sword. I thought I'd give it to you. Oh, who are you? I've never seen you before. What? Is this some random kid in the battlefield? Why don't you go home? I mean, yeah, I can't say I've seen a blade so peculiar before. Does it have a name? It's called a thief sword. Want to gut the bad guys? This thing's your best friend. Thanks? I don't really do swords much, though. Why are you giving this to me? I mean, I'm hardly complaining, but don't you need a sword? Nah, I'm not bothered. There ain't any point in me keeping it. Let's just say it does a lot more than just stab. See you around. And he just runs off. Okay, well, that's probably not what I was thinking of, a powerful sword, but let's have a look. Steals gold. So that's the same effect as Do. So I can see why he didn't want it, but it's got a terrible hit rate. It does very little damage, but it's light. I don't know if she's the right person for the Thief Sword. She doesn't really do much damage. I feel like you'd want to put that on someone... That might be the kind of sword for Alec or Noish. As they continue to get worse, instead of expecting them to kill people, because they're mounted, they could just run over, steal their gold, and move on. And on the other, unfortunately, like one of the problems with that is Do stealing gold is okay because he can give it away, but whoever we give the thief sword to, it's only stealing gold for them. They can't like transfer it unless they're they've got a lover, and even then it's just one person, so it's not as valuable as Do stealing. I'll have to think about it. Sea sword could go to the Myrmidons, could go to Ethlin, could go to Alec Noish, could go to Sigurd, could go to Arden. Of those, I'm kind of thinking Alec or Arden, or Alec or Noish, maybe. I don't know. Doesn't seem that valuable, honestly, all things considered. We're gonna go up to here or so. Oops. Always one tile short when I rush. I think it's better to be a little bit closer to the left side than to hug the mountain here. Because, you know, the enemies are to the left. Alright, so I believe, I mean, I didn't check, but that was the only talk. Yeah. Now, Arden's got his own quest. He's not on this map to go fighting. He's got his own quest objective. We'll get to it eventually. Alright, I guess I should probably end the episode this turn. Let's just plot out a little bit about what we're going to do. I'm kind of curious to find out if these guys will move. I think it's probably pretty likely they won't. So I'm going to move Quan specifically onto that tile. Actually, no, that's a lie. I'm going to move him up 1, left 2 from Sigurd. Which is as close as we can get without being in range of the ballista. This way, if this guy won't move, then I have the option for Quan next turn to move up, hit him with a javelin or something, and pull back if I care. We can do a little bit of cantoing there without needing to worry about javelins. Mind you, the javelins do 4 damage to these guys. These 2, it barely even matters. So, you know, all things said, it's kind of pointless. But this gives us kind of a line for where we want our other characters, because now we know how far the ballista can shoot visually. It's a little bit easier to position. We will work out how we're going to do our assaults on this defensive line next episode, though. Anybody need any healing while I'm Ethelining around? I mean, minor healing. Lex is probably the most in need, so... Noish. Unfortunately, our not horse units are still quite a ways back. So they're not going to get a lot of action just yet. That means we're not doing a whole lot of love points either. Alright. I mean, this is okay. Let's just see what happens here at the end of turn, and then we'll call that a good episode. I assume they will not move, though. Oh! They disobeyed orders! Interesting. Well, this makes it a little bit easier, because now we can start luring them out. And ignoring the ballista, for sort of staying out of ballista range and killing them. Anybody that wants to run out of formation. Or we just lure all of them out of formation. Alright, that's definitely not what I thought would happen. Huh. Interesting. I would have equipped a lance on Alec if I had thought these guys would move. Good surprise. Honestly, this makes it even easier, to be totally frank. I wonder if even their boss runs out. Oh, man. You're just ignoring your defensive line. This is making my job super easy. Well, we'll talk about this next episode, but yeah, that was definitely not what I expected. Let's just speed through all this. There's gonna be a lot of village burning between episodes. Alright, I'm sure our Cav contingents will be fine. It would be nice if the leg units were closer to help out, but these guys can't move very far, so we can just clear out 4 and then canto back. And the ballista is gonna be useless. We can ignore the boss for another turn. This guy doesn't even do anything. And then, yeah, well, we'll talk about that next episode. But yeah, this looks great. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed. And I will see you next episode for probably the sacking of Herrheim. See you there.